What's up everybody? I'm busy working on my bionic leg tutorial, as you can see behind me here. That video is coming together, but a little bit slower than expected. I had to make some pretty dramatic changes to the design, which is why it's taking a little longer than I thought it would. For those of you who are looking for that video, it will be out soon, I promise. But this video is to let you know that I have done my very first YouTube collaboration with Lindsey from Lindy Design Lab. You've heard me mention her in another video before. Basically, I just sent her some armor and said, just do anything you want. Doesn't matter what it is, just make it look cool. That was all the input I wanted to give her. Just take it and make it look cool. And she definitely did that. She's come up with a really cool design. So check out her video right now.
Very excited. I just got a package and I'm going to show you what's in it. Okay, well I haven't seen what's in it yet either. Thank you to David Guyton for sending over these parts.
I'm Lindsey and this is Lindy Design Lab, where you can experience the process of designing and constructing custom props, even when you don't have time to start your own project from square one. This video is the start of a new series where I'll be teaming up with the David Guyton channel. I'm going to start with a steel gauntlet that was crafted by David Guyton, and from there I'm going to combine that with other materials such as 3D printing and carbon fiber to begin constructing a complete look that's based on the Doom Wielder template.
When you have a pattern, it doesn't mean you have to follow that exactly and do exactly the version that somebody else did. Have that starting point that saves you some time, make something even more cool from that, that makes it yours, makes it unique. So that's what we're gonna be doing. Let's get this opened. So many mysterious little packages. Okay, so I think this is for polishing, looks like. Let's start with this little tiny one. I'm expecting some sort of finger plates. Ooh. That's awesome. This is so cool. I've never worked with proper metal pieces. You know, I do the 3D printed versions of everything, but this has this weight to it and it actually holds its shape as opposed to the flexible filament, which is pretty nice. I'm gonna keep those together. Let's do the next set. Ooh, these are cool. The edges are beveled here. I like that. That's awesome. Oh, thank you. An arrow so I know which way is up. Much appreciated. I love getting packages, and I think that's probably why I put so much time into packaging up anything that I ship to someone, like super nicely and like in all in little sample packages like this, because it's so fun to open it yourself. It's like I want other people to get that experience too. Color is beautiful, and actually I'm interested to compare how well I did with my painted steel finish. Let's just compare for fun. Okay, I mean it's a little different for sure. This is definitely a little more on the weathered side, but this is gorgeous. I don't have to cover this up with weathering if I don't want, because it's already beautiful. I've got the tutorial video pulled up for this pattern, so I can go ahead and make sure I'm putting them together correctly, although they are very nicely labeled. Thank you very much for that. So I have a lot of different ideas for what I want to do with this. I haven't decided which one I'm gonna go with. I want to just take some time to think about it, see what sort of concept is gonna work best with these beautiful pieces and feature the metal. So yeah, but I think the sizing is actually looking really quite good. Pretty sure I just did that backwards, so I'm gonna go ahead and swap those fingers, because I think that the smaller one should probably be the pinky, not the pointer.
Using the Doom Wielder template, I have created a 3D model so that I could then 3D print the right hand for this pair of gauntlets.
Got all my steel parts and then the 3D printed equivalent, although they're still flat, so I need to go ahead and heat mold these so that they have the same shape as the metal pieces. Some of them are going to be a little bit more complicated because they've got these sort of compound curves here that I think I'll be able to get okay on the 3D printed piece. Most of this I can mold directly over the metal pieces. Then I've got just a couple of other kitchen tools here in case I need something else to shape around. Just random curvy type things that might be helpful. And I'm going to try it with just my small heat gun because I don't want to accidentally overheat these because they're very thin. This is one I already did a test from the first print that didn't come out quite right. It didn't stick well. So I just used it to test the curve and it seems to work pretty well. This was the simplest one. I've already tried curving and again that worked pretty well. So I'm just going to continue with curving the other pieces now. Turns out it's actually quite easy having the metal pieces and the plastic ones. All I have to do is just set the plastic on here, melt it into that. As soon as it gets just a little bit soft, just press it down into the metal, and now I've got the same curve. Just let that cool. They're so thin it hardly takes any heat at all, especially with as hot as it is out here today. Even the curved one here, this is fine, it works the same way, even though it's more of a complex curve. Just press it in. If I didn't have the metal ones, I could use things like these measuring spoons to make the curves, but since I do have them, it makes sense to use them so that these will in the end match also. I got that quite down all the way. Since this is going to be my internal surface and it's so thin, it makes more sense to mold it on the inside of the parts. And then the thickness will be added with the carbon fiber. So then that will build up the thickness to equal that of the steel. Now this one is mirrored. It's not the same left to right, unlike most of the finger pieces, but I think it'll still be okay. Yeah, that works. I'm not sure if this one's going to work this way because this is so different left to right. I'll give it a try. Okay, yeah, that worked.
I'm playing around with an idea that's inspired by the game of chess for the overall direction of this costume and character that's based on the steel parts. So I'm thinking that a good material to bring in would be carbon fiber, because that's going to provide a good contrast between the steel, which is bright and shiny, and then the carbon fiber, which is shiny in its own way, but it's more dark and deep. You've got the weight of the steel versus the lightness of the carbon fiber. I think these will be some interesting interactions and also just visually interesting. So we're going to kind of mix up the parts for those. So the first step is to go ahead and prep the carbon fiber. We're going to be skinning those 3D printed parts.
I'm working on covering the pieces in the carbon fiber now. The curves are fairly simple in this. They only start to get slightly complex in a couple of places. So I'm going to use this double-sided adhesive. I'm just going to stick that down. This is going to keep my weave in place, hopefully, while I position it on the piece and when I go to cover it in the resin. So we'll see how this works. Just peel off that paper backing. And I'm kind of paying attention to which way I have the weave running on each piece because I want them to have the same direction, basically. Stick that down.
Well, you didn't think I was going to show you her whole video, did you? To see this video in its entirety, click on this little icon in the upper corner, where there will also be a link in the video description below. That will take you right to this video on her channel, where she'll show you the whole thing. Make sure to like and subscribe to her channel as well, and let me get back to work.